to kick off this morning, we're going much further afield. We are going to Saudi Arabia because the Saudi window came to a close last night. And I'm delighted to say a man many Chelsea fans will remember, a man who has worked in Monaco, a man who has done a lot in the game and is aiming to do a lot more over in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi Pro League's Director of Football, Michael Emenalo, joins us live on the show. Michael, hi to you. How do we find you?
Good morning, Jim. Good to see you, and good morning to Messrs. Kiwan and Jordan.
Good morning.
Morning, Michael.
Michael, thank you so much for doing this, because I know out there it has been non-stop for you. So the Saudi window has now come to a close. Michael, let's get started. Has the league achieved what it set out to do in this summer window? Did you get in the calibre of player that you wanted in?
Yes, absolutely. I think you always wanted to do a little bit more, but the feeling, come midnight, the KSA time, was that we are satisfied with the business we've done. We're satisfied with where we've put the league now. We've got some really good players, some top players, and a sprinkle of healthy world-class players. And I think it's been a good start.
Are you still sore that you missed out on Mo Salah? He was the one that you wanted out there, wasn't he?
Well, Mo is someone I consider almost like a son to me. He's a player that I admire, a human being that I absolutely adore. But the Saudi Pro League is not about capturing headlines. It's about putting in processes and doing things properly. And the feeling is that at this particular point in time, a deal was not aligned, and for a deal to be aligned, all three parties involved in it have to be happy with what they're getting. The Saudi Pro League is very, very happy with where we are today, and we close no doors.
Of course, you played a big part in getting Mo Salah to Chelsea, Michael, right?
Yes, with my good friend Jose Mourinho, who absolutely loved Mo, and we were happy to have him. Wonderful player. He gave us a hell of a time with Basel. I have to admit.
Michael, Simon's going to come in, and so probably will Martin. But I'll ask you this: what do you say to people who say, "Oh, this Saudi Pro League is nothing more than a threat"?
And I would say that that's not true, unequivocally not true. We are doing something that the country in itself, if you've been to Saudi Arabia and watched their games, you understand that is a country that is passionate about football. And first and foremost, that's what the stakeholders wanted to do, is to give back to the country where 80% of its people are involved or interested in football. And again, we are also in the business. We're all in one global business in the industry in football industry. And however we can enhance the industry, we will do so. And I think our entrance into as big players in the industry will only bode well for everybody.
Michael, with that observation, yes, about the acknowledgement of the fact that football is a global sport, I don't think anybody in their sane mind would object to any country developing their league and enhancing the opportunity to bring football as a primary sport or a big sport in their country. The challenge that people have is that at this moment in time, it looks like you're a disruptor because of the economics that you're bringing to bear. Do you envisage a point anytime soon where you will start to adhere to the governance of worldwide football, with things like financial fair play being at the centre of it?
Well, I think to start off, part of the job that we have at the SPL and its organization and mandate is actually to help professionalize the processes and the efficiency of management of football in the KSA. And in so doing, the intention is to ultimately adhere to the rules and regulations of world football.
Yeah.
So that's why we're there. That's the first thing that
do you see that happening with any imminency? Because I mean, I note your point about professionalising your sport in KSI and making it something that runs in a certain way and operates in a certain way to the highest standards, and the economics that you bring to bear, I imagine, will help achieve that. But going back to the central point, which is, do you see in the immediate future that mentality? Because right now, what you're doing is you're spending enormous amounts of money. English football clubs are very happy to receive it because you're paying over the odds for our players, and we're happy with that because it fuels part of the Premier League. But sooner rather than later, everyone's going to look to you guys to see if you're going to operate responsibly and sustainably like other parts of the football pyramid around the world. So again, is that an immediate thing you're going to be looked towards, or are we going to see many more years of you guys spending money like it's going out of fashion?
I understand your question, Simon, but I reject the insinuation that this is a throw money at it process. This is a well thought out and a well planned process that's been in the offing for a very, very long time.
Driven by money.
We've always the intention has always been to adhere to whatever the mandate of world football, as you put it. There are countries in the world who will look at the Premier League and say that the Premier League is overpaying, and that was the thought.
But Michael, you're driving a bus. It's not about transfer values. You're driving a bus through salaries. You're turning the whole thing on its head. You guys aren't paying economic worth. You're paying 5 times economic worth to be able to attract players, which I understand is at the beginning of a curve. And my concern is, if I have a concern, is that this continues. So I don't know what you would reject or what you think I'm insinuating. I'm not insinuating, I'm stating it. At this moment in time, the only lure that you guys have is economic and financial.
Is that true, Michael? The only thing that Saudi Pro League can offer is money and bucket loads of it.
No, I don't think that's true. I think it's only true in the sense that that's always been the case. When people made their journeys to the Serie A years back, in the 90s, it was also because there was some economic incentive, but it's also because with those kind of economic incentives come a realization that the levels and the ambitions and the qualities will ultimately improve. So the bus that we're driving through, as Simon put it, through the industry is a bus of ambition. It's a bus of wanting to help expand the opportunities in the league. And I think that bus will ultimately bring a lot of quality with it and bring a lot of respect to world football. And that's my...
But Michael, what is the ultimate aim here? What is the end game as you see it?
The end game, first and foremost, is to give something back to the people of the kingdom, so that they can enjoy the sport that they love. And the second part of that is that we are in a business where we have an opportunity to do things right, and we want to do it well, and we want to compete. We want to develop the sport to be one of the best globally. But first, it's been the Saudi Pro League has been one of the best leagues in Asia, and now we want to take that global, and we want to make our mark. And in so doing, we want to respect all the rules and regulations and all the tenets of the game. In so doing, but our ultimate goal is to be one of the best in the world and to help enhance the game for everybody that's involved.
Michael, I'm just concerned about how you expect to join up with the rest of football. So in the wider, globally,
Yes.
you initially want to grow your own league, but how then do you integrate then into a so-called Champions League? I mean, is it even possible, or can you not do something within the Gulf area that you're actually in yourself before you look to go towards Europe?
Is that indeed the aim, Michael? Do you want to burst onto the Champions League scene sometime soon?
No, I think I don't know where that's coming from. I think that's somebody just taking a very dreamy leap into a far-fetched future. I think our goal, as Martin clearly pointed out, is to take quality baby steps. And the first step is to stabilize our league, make it very entertaining for our fans, and in so doing, endear fans around the world to pay attention to what we're doing. And Martin, that's how we hope to integrate to integrate world football as.
So concentrate on your league, make it as strong as possible. I mean, the amount of players going your way is incredible. So this will be the plan year on year, transfer window after transfer window. You're bringing in the best players in Europe.
No. I don't think that would be it wouldn't be the exact model. Some of the top players we've signed on 3 to 4 year contracts. You only have an opportunity for 8 foreigners per team as it stands now. So I think we have to move at some point to other aspects of football and club development. Infrastructures, facilities, development of young players. Encouragement of leadership values from the top players that we've brought in.
And Michael, with respect, you do say that clubs within the Saudi Pro League are not out to disrupt.
Yes.
But many Liverpool fans last week were holding their hands above their heads when Sam Matterface came into this studio and said to us live on air, Al Ittihad have bid 150 million for Salah and probably would go to 200 million. And Liverpool fans felt disrupted.
Well, I said that we intend to disrupt to enhance, and by that I mean that we will do things correctly. And as you've seen, Mo Salah have remained at Liverpool, I remember a time when I was just about to join Monaco, and a certain player that I would have loved to have remain in the club was sold to another club for 168 million. It didn't seem as disruptive, and there wasn't all these uproar about, this is the business of football. And Mr. Simon knows that.
I agree, Michael, but I did find it strange. I mean, there's a lot of noise in the Western media, which you must be delighted about because they're doing your job for you in terms of promoting the league. But, I mean, how much substance was there, Michael, in the Salah transaction? Because it seemed a very strange way to go about doing business. If you wanted to take arguably one of Liverpool's best players and their iconic goal scorer, the way to do it wouldn't have been to make a bid on the last day of the transfer window, which gave Liverpool no opportunity to either sell him to you or replace him. That seemed a strange way to do business, and people are ruminating that that's arrogance on the Saudis, naivety, or not even a legitimate bid. Does my observations fall into any of those categories?
I think your observation, if correct, would have made a lot of sense. But as you know, and Martin knows, and all of us who've been involved in football knows, the rumors are never close to the fact. And I think what you're expressing is not even close to what the reality was.
So did Al Ittihad bid 150 million?
I think I'll leave the negotiations, to where it should belong, which is in a very discreet vault.
Do you think they'll be back in January, Michael?
I don't know what we're going to do. We'll do what is right for the SPL, and we'll take it, one solution at a time.
But just to be clear,
yes,
from your point of view, you do not envisage a day anytime soon when a Saudi team will be playing in the Champions League?
That's not been something that I've been privy to, even as a part of a discussion or a plan.
You would concede, though, Michael, that the Saudi Pro League has exploded onto the scene. 735 million in transfers this summer, making you the second highest spenders in Europe. You've come from nowhere and exploded on it.
Well, I think what you do in this industry or in any other business is you identify an opportunity and you take it. The opportunity was there to start off. We had different kinds of plans in terms of getting the league launched, but once the opportunity became available for us to do a little bit better in terms of player acquisition, we basically went for it, and nobody should begrudge us for doing that. Ultimately, what we want to do, I reiterate, is to grow the league for us, for the people of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and globally. That's our intention, and we will do it respecting whatever rules and regulations are in place, and abiding, by the tenets of all the organizations that that have a hand in making our sport run smoothly.